Discover the secret behind quantum entanglement and liberate your subconscious power by breaking the code. Amid the infinite canvas of the universe where galaxies swirl and stars are born in silence, there exists an invisible thread, a force so subtle yet so profound that it binds all things together beyond what the eye can see. Scientists have named it quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so baffling that even Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. At its essence, it shows us that two particles once connected remain in communication, no matter how far apart they drift. A shift in one instantly affects the other, even if separated by light years. Time and space, it seems, are no obstacle to their mysterious bond. But what if this was more than just a scientific anomaly? What if this same principle applied not only to particles, but to the very structure of our consciousness? What if your conscious thoughts and your subconscious mind are also entangled, intricately woven into a larger cosmic web? Modern research is beginning to echo a truth long known to mystics and spiritual seekers, that your thoughts, emotions, and even your future are not isolated but profoundly connected to the greater tapestry of existence. You are not separate. You are a thread in the sacred weave of the universe. As a result of the scientific study of quantum entanglement, it has become abundantly obvious that reality is not a series of unexpected and unrelated occurrences. In contrast, it is a vast ocean of energy waves that are connected to one another and respond in real time to the most profound ideas, thoughts, and feelings that you have. Sending signals into this quantum field and getting reactions in return is the function of your subconscious, which acts as an antenna. Your subconscious is the silent architect of your life. Once you have developed the ability to master this entanglement, a surprising event will occur. Your limitations, which you had previously accepted, begin to melt, revealing an energy that has always been present inside you but has been dormant. There is no figurative meaning to this concealed energy. In addition to being observable and measurable, it is scientific. You experience more than simply a shift in your thinking when you bring your subconscious patterns into alignment with the global field. It is you who alters your own reality. As your energy is reflected back to you, you start to notice that the world is beginning to bend around you. Although only a select handful are aware of this secret, once it is revealed, it completely alters everything. Before you can understand how your subconscious might release latent energy, you must first have a firm grip on the cosmic web that is the glue that holds existence together. Traditional logic is not compatible with quantum entanglement. Experiments have shown that particles that were once in contact with one another continue to interact with one another, reacting quickly to changes in each other, regardless of the distance between them. The constraints of time and space are broken by this phenomena, which suggests that there is an underlying unity that lies beneath the apparent separation of everything within the universe. But this principle hints at a far deeper truth that extends beyond the confines of the laboratory. You too are a contributor to this web of interconnectedness. Your thoughts, feelings, and body are all composed of the same subatomic particles that are capable of exhibiting entanglement characteristics. It is possible for these particles to have an effect on others beyond their immediate vicinity. When they vibrate with intention, consciousness is not confined to the brain, as the scientific community has demonstrated. Scientists working at organizations such as HeartMath have demonstrated that the human heart is capable of producing an electromagnetic field that can be measured from a distance of several meters. Considering that this field reacts to your feelings, it may be said that your inner condition practically radiates out into the world. On a daily basis, 95% of your actions are controlled by your subconscious mind. In addition to being the silent driver, it is the subconscious that is responsible for transmitting frequencies into the quantum field. It operates underneath your consciousness. You might not be aware of it, but the signals that you send out are shaped by every belief and every emotion that is buried deep within you. It is possible for your subconscious to become constantly entangled with energies of lack and struggle, if it is trained with doubt, fear, or limitation. This is not an example of philosophical reasoning. There are patterns that can be seen in it. Those who allow themselves to get consumed by fear frequently find themselves locked in cycles of battle and deficiency. Individuals who exude thankfulness and confidence, on the other hand, appear to attract prosperity and opportunities. It's not a coincidence at all. Quantum entanglement in motion is what one sees here. The dominating frequencies that are pulsating from your subconscious are reflected in the world that you choose to experience. A parable is a lovely means of reiterating this idea. The farmer plants seeds without having any idea which ones will eventually blossom, but the earth does not make any distinctions if you plant something. Whether it be flowers or thorns, it will grow. It is the dirt that is your subconscious. It is the thoughts, feelings, and intentions that you plant in it that will determine the harvest that you will receive from your life. As this web of interconnected energy becomes more transparent, it becomes impossible to overlook the crucial role that the subconscious mind plays in the process. It functions in a manner similar to that of a living antenna, taking in and sending out frequencies that not only influence your perception, but also the reality that you experience. The blueprint of what your subconscious sends out into the quantum field is comprised of every belief you took in as a child, every emotional wound you experienced, and every thought pattern that you reinforced. Your mind is like a blank slate from the moment you are born. It tends to take in the energy, words, and beliefs of other people. When the brain is operating largely in theta waves, which occurs during childhood, the subconscious is at its most impressionable capacity. Ideas about love, worthiness, scarcity, and success are encoded without any opposition being faced by the individual. The energy that your subconscious emits is discreetly instructed by these early programs, which become habitual and continue to manifest long into adulthood. One aspect of these systems that is frequently overlooked is the way in which they function beneath the surface. For as long as you continue to develop, acquire new knowledge, and actively yearn for better circumstances, your subconscious will continue to be bound to those initial designs because it operates in a manner similar to that of an obsolete piece of software. It discreetly operates in the background, impacting your decisions, behaviors, and the opportunities that you come across, continuously emitting the same frequency that it had absorbed a very long time ago. The antenna does not require any conscious involvement. This is the reason why a large number of people experience dissatisfaction when they seek to improve their outward conditions without addressing the internal broadcasts. Although you may have the desire to have a lot of money, if your subconscious is hardwired to believe that there is a lack of it, the signal that it sends will attract difficulties. You may have a desire for relationships that are satisfying, but if your antenna is vibrating with feelings of unworthiness, you will attract connections that resonate with that frequency. It is not the wants that you casually entertain on the surface that are what the universe responds to. Rather, it is the signal that you continually produce that is measured and precise. One must first acknowledge the subconscious as an active participant in the process of forming reality in order to make any changes to this broadcast. It is not a passive recorder, but rather a dynamic transmitter that is both influencing and being influenced by the quantum field in real time. By gaining this understanding, the focus is shifted within, and the power of transformation is placed not in the external conditions, but rather in the individual's ability to master their own internal frequency. The process of reprogramming the subconscious begins with the recognition of the subconscious as an antenna. In the same way that a radio receiver may tune to different frequencies, your subconscious mind is also capable of shifting the energetic output it produces. On the other hand, the process calls for conscious practice, consistency, and the ability to be attentive. Due to the fact that the quantum field will always reflect the dominant signal that you emit, the work starts at the source. When it comes to reprogramming, meditation is one of the most effective strategies available. During the process of achieving profound meditative states, the brain returns to the theta frequency, which is the same frequency that was used during childhood, when the subconscious was having its initial programming. The barrier that separates the awareness and the subconscious is lifted while one is in this condition, which makes it possible for new information to penetrate deeply. During meditation, visualizing anything helps to amplify this process, which in turn helps to embed new beliefs into the architecture of the subconscious. Visualization is not the only thing that brings about change. Rather, the emotional energy that is tied to it is what brings about change. Repetition and feeling are the primary means by which the subconscious acquires knowledge rather than logic. The use of emotional reinforcement is still another strategy. To put it another way, emotion is the amplifier of thought. When you imagine yourself achieving success, abundance, or well-being, and then combine that mental image with the sensation of already having those things, your subconscious mind begins to accept those things as genuine. The signal that you send into the quantum field is altered as a result of this emotional charge, which sets off a chain reaction of synchronicities and possibilities. The scientific community agrees with this process. The findings of the research conducted by Dr. Joe Dispenza illustrate how emotionally charged ideas construct brain pathways that over the course of time become the default patterns of behavior and perception. The subconscious antenna is rewired to emit the desired frequency whenever you experience feelings of thankfulness for something that has not yet appeared in your life. Moreover, consistency is an extremely important factor. A single affirmation or vision will not be able to override the years of subconscious training that have been imprinted in you. The key is to practice on a daily basis in the same way as tuning an instrument to the ideal tune demands consistent effort. Reprogramming requires just as much information that is most commonly received by the subconscious is absorbed and reflected by the subconscious. In order to speed up the process of reprogramming, it is necessary to surround yourself with settings, people, and behaviors that encourage the new vibration. Imagine that you are upgrading the operating system that is running in your head. It is the consistency with which you install and reinforce the new beliefs that determines the rate at which the previous constraints disappear. Take into consideration the comparison between the sculptor and the stone. Once upon a time, Michelangelo was quoted as saying, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I release him." You are the marble and your ideas and feelings are the chisel. Your subconscious is the marble. Every single visualization, every single affirmation, and every single sensation of blessing or happiness is a stroke of the chisel that gradually reveals the masterpiece that is concealed within. You are able to alter not just your subconscious, but also the quantum field that reflects your internal sculpture back into physical reality through the process of repeated retraining. As soon as the process of reprogramming starts, a change in perspective will inevitably take place. There is no longer a sense that the world is a chaotic terrain filled with random occurrences. Upon closer inspection, it reveals itself to be a living tapestry that is intricately interwoven and responds moment by moment to the energy that you emit. Quantum entanglement demonstrates that the concept of separation is an appearance. Not only does each individual's reality, but also the entire collective field are influenced by the vibrations that are transmitted via the web, by every thought, every emotion, and every belief. In addition to being empowering, this revelation is also humbling. By demonstrating that circumstances are not imposed from the outside, but rather are energetic reflections of interior states, it dismantles the concept of victimhood and reveals that circumstances arise from inside. In the past, challenges were considered to be hurdles, yet they evolved into feedback mechanisms that guided you to tune the frequency that you broadcast. Nevertheless, this way is not without of difficulties. When you raise your vibration, old patterns come up against you and try to draw you back into the vibrations of fear and doubt that you are accustomed to seeing. The fluctuation is reflected in the quantum field, which is impartial and neutral on its own. Rather of passing judgment, it provides affirmation, and it echoes the prevailing vibration, regardless of the nature of the vibration. The perfect illustration of this is provided by a clever metaphor. A mirror is a reflection of reality. Instead of smiling first, it waits for you to smile before it smiles. There will be no change in your outward world until there is a change in your internal condition first. It is always the vibration that comes before the reflection. By gaining an understanding of this dynamic, you will be able to assume complete responsibility for the energy that you produce. Every single idea becomes into a decision, every single feeling into a tool, and every single belief into a component of the world that you are creating. But even once you have mastered vibrational reprogramming, there is still one subtle trap that you must overcome, and that is the test of alignment. Through the objective language of energy, the cosmos verifies on a constant basis. Whether or not your new frequency is stable, it accomplishes this not by bestowing upon you instantaneous benefits, but rather by giving trials that bring to light persistent uncertainties and lack of consistency. This examination is not a kind of punishment, but rather a confirmation. When you experience a setback after beginning an internal transformation, the quantum field is asking you whether this new frequency is indeed your default or whether it is conditioned and fragile. The way in which you react will determine whether the change collapses or anchors. When one is working to cultivate abundance, for instance, one can encounter an unanticipated financial impediment. The original frequency is brought back as a result of reacting with dread. Your response of trust and thankfulness is a clear indication that the new program is functioning properly. A neutral reflection of this option can be found in the field. It is the wisdom of old traditions that is reflected in this idea. To acquire wisdom, the Tao Te Ching advises that one should add new things on a daily basis. Get rid of stuff on a daily basis to accomplish knowledge. For the purpose of determining whether or not the new energy is true and steady, the universe will remove illusions in order to test your alignment. In order to achieve mastery, it is necessary to acknowledge these challenges not as obstacles, but rather as opportunities to strengthen the new vibration. You will be propelled into greater coherence with the quantum field as you progress through each difficulty, which will serve as a stepping stone. The subsequent phase, which is submission, is taken when the alignment tests have been comprehended. When you detach yourself from something, you are not giving up desire. Rather, you are letting go of the need to control the outcome. It is not desperation that causes the quantum field to respond. Rather, it is assurance, the unshakable awareness that anything that is sought already exists in the form of potential and is just waiting to materialize into being. Having faith in the procedure is necessary for this surrender. The reintroduction of lower frequencies that occurs when clinging to results is caused by fear and doubt, which disrupts the energetic coherence that is necessary for manifestation. The principle of flow is aligned with detachment, which enables the universe to organize situations without interference from the individual. Gratitude serves as the key that unlocks the door to the surrender. In order to send a message to the subconscious and the quantum field that the manifestation is already real, it is necessary to express gratitude for what has not yet materialized. Creating the conditions for the desire to manifest is accomplished through the use of this paradox, which acts as if the desire has already arrived. This idea is well captured in a poetic description that may be found in the Upanishads. What your deepest, most compelling desire is creates you. Simply said, your will is the same as your desires. It is the same as your will that your deed is. Your fate is determined by the actions you take. When desire and submission are combined, the result is will. Will that is formed by believing culminates in action. Reality is created by action that is guided by vibration. After mastering the technique of detachment, the subconscious will begin to emanate a frequency of wealth that is devoid of any potential for resistance. In response, the quantum field does not react in a haphazard manner, but rather with precision, arranging events to correspond with this newly discovered certainty. A fundamental truth is revealed when this procedure is brought to a successful conclusion. It is not accurate to say that you are only a bystander to the cosmos. You are a creator who is intricately woven into the fabric of existence, and you are an active participant. Quantum entanglement is not a concept that exists in the far-off future. The energy that your subconscious projects is tightly connected to this foundation, which serves as the basis for your reality. When the programming of your subconscious coincides with the vibration of your goal, the latent energy that resides inside you becomes active. For this energy, there is no need for exertion. When belief, emotion, and action are in harmony with one another, it flows smoothly. Opportunities are created out of challenges. Obstacles present opportunities for learning. The phenomenon of synchronicity takes the form of coincidence. A person must live their life as if the desired reality already exists in order to fully embody this mastery. A coherent signal is transmitted into the quantum field as a result of the convergence of action, cognition, and sensation processes. Contradiction is not an option in this situation. For the vibration to be complete, total, and unwavering, it must be whole. In conclusion, the most important thing is to realize that the field reacts not to desires, but to being alive. At the point in time when plenty, love, or success are no longer something to be pursued, but rather something that has already been lived, the universe immediately mimics that state. Once upon a time, the philosopher Plotinus wrote, "Never stop chiseling your own statue until the divine glory of virtue shines out on you." The chisel the subconscious, the sculptor, your reality, and the statue are all expressions of quantum entanglement for you. When you master both your conscious and subconscious mind, the hidden power within you begins to reveal itself, and the universe in turn responds to your vibration. Quantum entanglement offers far more than a glimpse into the mysterious link between particles. It unveils the secret blueprint upon which your entire reality is built. Beneath the surface of your daily life, your subconscious mind acts as a transmitter, sending out frequencies that quietly shape the world you experience. Every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, and every intention you set ripples outward, becoming intertwined with the quantum field only to return to you as events, opportunities, and realities. The evidence is undeniable. Shift your inner world and your external world must shift as well. This is not a rare gift reserved for a few. It is your natural, inherent ability. By reprogramming your subconscious, staying aligned with your highest vibrations, and surrendering to the greater flow of the universe, you awaken the dormant energy that has always lived within you. Life ceases to feel random. Instead, it becomes a vivid reflection of who you choose to become. When your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are brought into true harmony, the universe can only mirror that unity back to you, because you and the cosmos are never truly separate. You are the creator of your reality,